Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike, and I play with one Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin. I play with two Pokemon on the field.
I don't know if you noticed, but I tossed in a little French. I wanted to kind of flex my Canadian heritage, you know?
I don't know if you noticed, but I changed my intonation because last week you had something to say about it. So I changed it for you, Mike.
I'm Kevin. I play with two Pokemon on the field.
No.
It's just that last it's that last field that lingers on for a little bit. It's funny.
Don't talk about my lingers, Mike, all right? So show me your French. We're talking about French. Go Canadian.
Le, la. Toilette?
Okay.
No, what's the one? Omelette du fromage. That's it.
Omelette with cheese.
Fromage. Est-ce que je peux aller aux toilettes? There you go.
Thing is, I understand you because I have 3 years of high school French.
Hey, there you go. So do I. Actually, no, I think you have more French than I have been taught. I mean, we have it in elementary school, so that's that. But I stopped that after the 10th grade.
A lot of people don't know this, but French and Portuguese are super similar. So
Are they
it's
really?
Like super easy. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but like all languaguages are kind of the same.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
this just turned into a Korean podcast. Let's all speak Korean.
I wish I could just like bust out, just straight switch into Korean.
Since we're on the topic of languages right now, do you have a Pokemon that you go up against online that has a name in another language that you just remember for some reason?
No, and I'm so curious why you say that.
Because I remember what Rotom is in Japanese.
What is it?
I don't know, but it starts with a square. So when I see a square, I know it's Rotom.
Oh, I see. Like you understand what the characters are.
Yeah, because that does get annoying, right? When you're playing on Battle Spot and it's like you're trying to select which Pokemon you want to target, and then they just give you the other language's names. Like, how am I supposed to know that?
Rotom
or like
square.
When they miss or something. Yeah, Rotom is a square.
Oh.
And also, Scrafty is a Rokex in German. I know that for some reason.
I know that the Japanese names of Pokemon are very much like what they are, like more so than they are in English. Like they're like straight up derived from the words that they represent. Like Squirtle is like turtle water, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if anybody who's watching this has noticed, but I am indeed working from home today. Usually I record Pokésports in the beauty of the super bright arena. But today, as we are still observing the national holiday that is quarantine, I'm working from home. So welcome to my room.
And me, I'm also in my room.
You've been in your room for like 6 months now. I've
been quarantined, all right?
You've been quarantined, yeah.
Use promo code Stay Home for the new t-shirts.
Hey, I mean, it's interesting because like my green screen that I usually have on, I decided to keep it down today in part because of the fact that, you know, we need to apparently tell people a little bit more to stay home, please. But also because my daughter, who's just in the other room when I'm recording all the time, is now switching over to a toddler bed. And Kevin, I am losing my mind.
Really? Is that hard?
It's changing from a crib to a toddler bed. So when you're in a crib, you have like the four walls and your kid can't escape. But when you're in a toddler bed, one of those walls becomes like shorter and has an opening.
Yeah.
So she can like get up in the middle of the night and walk over to our room and get in our bed or whatever. But once she gets in there, it's kind of like, all right, just don't leave the room. Don't come in here. And I know that if she does, then I'm going to have a problem with the green screen being up. She's going to be like, oh, what is this? Let's push down this one. I guess we're breaking walls this weekend. Like,
speaking of wall breakers, Noctowl.
Yeah, Before we get into Noctowl, we've got to say happy Garlic Day. It is Garlic Day, International Garlic Day. Get yourself a nice little clove, toss it with some broccoli, have a good time. What?
Any garlic Pokemon? Celebi. Garlic.
Celebi is literally a garlic clove, isn't she?
Happy Celebi Day.
Happy Celebi Day, everybody. And then what about this one? Happy Kindergarten Day.
Happy Mike's Daughter Day.
Not even close. I wish there would be a lot more stuff for us to do with her if she were in kindergarten. Just almost not happening.
Couple more years.
Maybe.
Mike.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some Pokemon stuff. There's news this week. Not a lot because it is 2020, and so with the year being canceled, we're kind of powering through it and doing what we can.
With the year being canceled, not even halfway through.
Yeah, we cancel cultured it right away. So we had another tournament this week. We had the Rose Tower tournament. That was a fun time. I got to watch a little bit of it, and it was interesting. It came down to Aaron Trailer and Adi Subramanian. Adi's team was the one that won it. And it was interesting to see that Aaron Trailer was like in the semifinals again. It's really weird to see like all of these like top name people constantly coming in first, constantly coming in second, third.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Super consistent.
It's good. It makes sense, right? Like if you're a good player, like you should be consistently good. But it's so strange to see that in Pokemon sometimes, you know?
Yeah, because it's like Pokemon. People always like refer to Pokemon as being very RNG based, but like that just goes to show that no, there is talent to this. Like you can be good at the game. Just these top names are appearing for a reason. It's because they're better than the others.
Right. Exactly. And so it's our job to look at that and be like, okay, what is making them better than all of these other people? So the tournament had approximately 200 people. It was viewed by like close to 1,500. The tournament raised over $2,500 for the COVID-19 Solidarity Fund. So awesome cause. Really glad to see that. You'll love to see it. But like I was saying, Adi's team was running a Clefairy, Dragapult, Excadrill, Rotom Wash, Incineroar, and Togekiss. So fairly standard, except there was the Clefairy in there.
Yeah, Clefairy would be the only weird one there. He has double follow me on that team too, so that can definitely get annoying. Especially in like different scenarios. Like you'd want Clefairy against like a hyper offensive team because then you can give the friend guard to your allies, and then the Togekiss you'd want against a pretty, defensive team so you can crit them multiple times and break through their defenses.
Right.
So very good team building on that part.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Solid.
And so if you want to go and check out his team and possibly get a rental code that might be coming in the next couple days, you can go to @Adisubra, so @ADISUBRA on Twitter, and he's been rather active, rather talkative about this tournament. So big congrats to him.
Congrats. And I think Rose Tower is going to make a circuit out of this too.
Yeah, that is what they've been saying. Rose Tower really wanted to make a big push for this one. It looks like they managed to gain like a good 200 followers on Twitch by doing this. So they're getting up there.
They also had the likes of T-Man, P-Dons, Rosemary, and like Gabby all working on this too. So they have a good set of people helping them out too. That's
true. Also in the news, every time I say that, I'm sorry, I devolve into Keemstar. Noctowl. Well, that's actually the screen from the finals right there. That's Aaron Trailer versus Adi. You can see it came down to a Gastrodon and Colossal versus Clefairy and Rotom. Colossal was taken down, and Gastrodon didn't really have all that much that it could do against it. Plus, Adi had a Rhyperior Excadrill in the back to take that out with the Dynamax that he never used. So,
oh geez,
yeah,
boy didn't even need Dynamax.
He didn't even need Dynamax for the last one. That was really sad. And like even the casters forgot about that one. So when it came down to the last couple turns, Excadrill Dynamaxes, and they're like, oh right, he hasn't done that. No, it's over.
There's nothing that feels worse.
Yeah.
Than your opponent saving their Dynamax for that last turn and it becomes like a 2v1 scenario, and you're like, okay, I have 2 Pokemon to their 1, and then they whip out a Dynamax, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, it's true.
I lost.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a Ditto.
Got a Ditto.
You've been,
there it is.
You've been breeding lately, Mike?
I've been breeding a lot lately, specifically for a Noctowl, who is also in the news. Noctowl, I've got some Smogon news for you, Kevin. Noctowl has been banned by Smogon just from PU. It has moved
Send
into
it to Ubers, Mike.
Straight to Ubers, please. It has been banned from PU. It is now PUBL, so PU ban list. So it's available for everything above PU ban list, but not PU itself.
Well, congratulations. Noctowl is too good for the worst tier.
Hey, man, it's fine. It's actually okay. No, we'll talk about this later, but hey, it's a good Pokemon. Also, Silvally Ground and Silvally Fire were banned from PU, but Noctowl was apparently deemed the best wall breaker in the format, thanks to its Tinted Lens, Nasty Plot, and Hurricane. The list of switch-ins was small and exceed. What was their words? Arguably non-existent. So,
yes,
couldn't really do much against that.
So it's like a situation of a Pokemon being in a tier and then that other tier not having the proper Pokemon to tolerate that Pokemon.
Right.
So they just kick it right out to see if the other tier can deal with it.
I mean, Noctowl also had a choice spec set that had enough power to 2-hit KO most of the targets, even ones that resisted flying in normal because, again, Tinted Lens.
I mean, honestly, I didn't even know much about Tinted Lens until I went against the Noctowl. There were situations where Noctowl was going for, I think it was a max airstream on my Duraludon.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, it's resisted, no big deal. Bye, Duraludon.
Because that's true. Well, I mean, Tinted Lens, by the way, for those who don't know, it doubles the power of not very effective moves. So, or it doubles the damage, I should say.
So it makes them normal effectiveness.
Kind of. Because if you go against a like 2 times resistant, then it is normal. But if you go up against like a 4 times resistant, then that goes up to like a normally not very effective. Goes up to 2 times. So it just doubles it. So that's important to note. It doesn't make everything normal.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So like against your Duraludon, which I believe is 4 times.
No, I think it's just 2.
It's just 2?
I don't think Dragon.
No, I guess not. Yeah. So against the Duraludon, it's doing normal damage, but even that, like, it's pretty strong. It got a buff in Gen 7. Not a lot of people know that, but it got a 10-point special attack buff.
I saw Fu made a video on it too.
Who also on the exact same day.
Dude, everyone is using this piece of trash.
Kevin loses to a Noctowl one time and everybody jumps on it.
Dude, and it's like, give me some time to heal, guys.
No.
I need some time to forget about this. If you guys go on this Discord server, everyone's making fun of me. They have this stupid Noctowl emote that they keep putting every time I try to get a sentence out. This is bullying.
No. But it's
and
good.
Then Fu comes out of the woodworks. He's like, here's a Noctowl video. Now 50,000 people know that Noctowl's good. Jeez.
Now you're going to see it a lot more. I just want to put this out there, though. We put that video out on the exact same day. Like,
yeah,
he put that out like mere hours before I uploaded that video. So it was just so funny to look at that and then see what I put. And I was like, wait a second. These are basically the same thing. Like, we had the same idea at the same time. And maybe that's just living in the zeitgeist of Pokemon. I don't know.
Noctowl's trending.
Yeah. So other Smogon bans this week include Barraskewda and Centiskorch moving to RUBL, while Alolan Raichu, Indeedee, and Salazzle were all voted to stay. So that's the rarely used tier is actually pretty interesting. I'm curious what that's like. I would really like to try and make an RU team for singles, but I don't know. Like I'm worried about things feeling weak. And so going into those tiers are hard for me.
don't worry about making an RU team. Like, yeah, worry about making a little cup team.
Yeah, that's the thing. During this whole thing on this past Friday, I guess we'll for the people who don't know, this past Friday we streamed Friday and Saturday. I streamed a shiny hunt of a Noctowl to make it into a competitive Hoot Hoot, because we wanted to keep it competitive while doing something fun on Pokésports. So we did a stream where we hunted for a shiny, but then also trained it up to make it competitive. So I did that for a Noctowl. Ended up getting the right one and getting it up there. And Kevin was supposed to do that for Drillbur, but he failed. So he's going to try that again. And then once we have those Pokemon all done, we want to have a Little Cup tournament. We don't want to have like a little Cup battle.
A little cup
battle. Little Cup battle. But here's the thing though, right? Like we need to make a team for that. We can't just go Noctowl versus Drillbur. We
need to actually build a team around those two. That's like the only criteria we have. It's just we each have to use those Pokemon, those two Pokemon on our teams. Well, we don't each have to use that. Mike uses Hoot Hoot. I use Drillbur. But the thing is, the way that the stream even happened was that Mike was just talking about some nonsense. I think he was talking about like Pokésports episode 11, and then out of nowhere, he just gets a shiny Hoot Hoot on his screen in like what 9 encounters.
9 encounters, yes.
And then he's like, "Oh no, darn, wrong ability." Yeah. And so he just redoes the whole thing so confidently, like he's just gonna get another shiny in the same stream.
I don't know.
He gets it at 115.
Man, I just had to have confidence. That's all I needed.
Oh my god!
Hey,
you got 2 shinies in one stream. I couldn't get my Drillbur. What is this? What is this? And I was like, I'm gonna do 116 because I just want to beat Mike.
Yeah.
And then I did up to 121 just because I was like, okay, maybe I won't beat Mike, but I'll get close.
Yeah.
So Mike wins the shiny hunt battle, but the war isn't over, Mike. We still need the Little Cup battle.
I'm excited for that one. We're going to record that this week. We're going to put it up on Friday, April 24th on youtube.com/Pokésports. Stick around.
Be there, be square.
Kevin, I wanted to talk to you today.
Really?
Period. That's it. I just wanted to talk to you today. Thank you for doing that. We'll see you next week on Pokésports. And goodbye. No, I'm kidding. I wanted to talk to you about underrated Pokemon, because I think one thing that I've learned through this whole Noctowl experience is that there are Pokemon out there that are not being touched like at all in the current meta. And I feel like we need to shed some light. It's our civic duty to shed some light on the Pokemon that are not seeing as much play as they should.
Okay.
And so
I'm down.
What I did, and for everybody out here, I put together a list of 5 underrated Pokemon. I asked Kevin to do the same. What we're going to do, we're going to go through each of those 5. We're going to talk about the pros, the cons, what we think it should actually be seeing play as, and then we'll leave it up to you guys to decide if you agree or not. And I'm already seeing people in the chat in Twitch tossing down Vikavolt, Flygon. Absolutely, Flygon's not in the game, but I agree. Flygon is
Flygon is in the game. Yes, he is.
You're kidding me.
Nope. Good job, Mike. Mike does this for a living. Professional Pokemon podcast.
You're kidding me. Oh,
definitely in the game.
Wow. You're absolutely right. I'm trying to remember where I found a Trapinch.
You know what's really sad is that Trapinch has competitive history this generation, but Flygon does not.
Tell me why. What?
Because Trapinch was with Eviolite. Trapinch actually has like a stupidly high attack for some reason.
Okay.
Let me see. I don't want to be wrong because I'm like making a point. Trapinch has a base 100 attack for some reason. So people are using it on a Trick Room team with Arena Trap and Eviolite, which made it tankier and stronger than Flygon.
Trapinch has the exact same base attack as Flygon. Interesting.
So it was like people were using that in tournaments instead of Flygon. That whole line makes no sense, but whatever. Sure, it's based on something.
So, like I said, people are already tossing down in the chat saying Vikavolt, Flygon, all, big names that should be in the game. I have my list of 5 and Kevin has a list of 5. Let's do it. My first.
Cool.
I'm gonna start first. Actually, you know what? How about let's play some tennis with this. I'll do one, then you do one, then I'll do one, then you do one. My first is Hitmontop. I feel like nobody had. Okay, Stark's really going off in the chat. I'm so sorry. This is the second time you've disrespected one of my favorite Pokemon on the podcast. Oh no.
Rip. You need to pick better favorites, Stark.
Oh no, Kevin, don't get on his bad side too.
He loves me. We love him.
Oh man. Hitmontop, incredibly defensive, although he has low HP. Compared to Conkeldurr, like the other mono fighting type that has seen a lot of play. What Hitmontop lacks in HP and bulk, like Conkeldurr has, not bulk, attack. It makes up for in its defense and its utility. Utility in the fact that there's fake out that you can use to flinch or intimidate with eject button. I didn't know that eject button was that used with Hitmontop, but it's a thing.
It's actually, it's not bad. You get a lot of switch priorities, and then you're able to put yourself in a better scenario. Hitmontop can pretty much take a one hit, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially after intimidate.
Yes, so yes, absolutely.
I think the other item is what Assault Vest, because it's like base 100 something special defense.
Mm-hmm. I have seen Assault Vest on that, but that's usually with I've seen that a lot on singles teams. Because you have access to Rapid Spin as well. Rapid Spin's a big move in singles because you've got sticky webs and rocks and spikes that you have to worry about.
Then if you Rapid Spin, you'd want to keep the speed boost, so you wouldn't want to get eject button out.
Exactly. Yes. Kevin, I have lobbed the ball over to you.
Me?
Oh yeah.
Alolan Persian. Love this thing. I've used it on 2 different teams. Used it for my international challenge. Did very well there. Alolan Persian, what's nice about it is that if you don't like using Incineroar, then Alolan Persian's a very good alternative because it also does get Parting Shot. It does get Fake Out.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, it gets other supportive moves like Fake Tears, like Icy Wind, like Quash. I've actually not used Quash on it because Icy Wind does essentially the same thing.
Mm.
But Icy Wind can miss, so that's just something to keep in mind. And it's also, a nice type move. It doesn't do a lot of damage. You really only use it for the -1 speed. But along with that, you also get Parting Shot, Foul Play. This Pokemon is just tanky on top of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've run 2 variants successfully. Especially, you can either go with the Focus Sash just to make sure that you at least get another turn off that you're allowed to either Fake Tears or Icy Wind, just so you can do some pretty meaningful stuff before you go down. Because Alolan Persian's really fast thing. What base speed is 115, so that's outspeeding, like, I believe Whimsicott Moonblast even. So you're able to get some pretty good attacks in.
Mm-hmm.
You're especially going to outspeed with after an Icy Wind goes off as well.
100%. And I'm realizing that as I said that we were going to hit it back and forth, I put all of mine in a row, and then I put all of yours in a row. So I can't go down to your picture of Persian for this without revealing all the rest of mine. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to hogging the spotlight myself.
Take it, Mike.
Let's do it. Noctowl is obviously my second one, Kevin. It's my personal favorite right now. Unironically, like truly, it is my personal favorite right now. Tinted Lens, I had no idea what it did. And once I learned what it did, I was like, oh, wow, that's actually not bad. I slapped Heat Wave on that thing. I'm able to actually like do damage with it, which I didn't expect a Heat Wave to do, because spread moves, period. It prevents switch-ins from making huge problems, right? Because like usually the idea is that you want to switch into a Pokemon that, like, when you know an attack's coming, will not be taking it very well. So now that removes that from being a problem. Hypnosis and Dream Eater as well. Great combination. Great way to heal yourself up after you take a hit by trying to hypnotize, put someone to sleep. Dream Eater also becomes Max Mindstorm. So that makes for another very powerful Dynamax move.
I'm trying to live in your space here for a second.
Thank you.
In all reality, base 100 HP is pretty darn good.
Am I right? Or am I right? Yes.
Something with Dynamax Pokemon that some people kind of underlook is that in order to make a good Dynamax Pokemon, you need a Pokemon with high HP. That's why Pokemon like Tyranitar are successful. That's why Pokemon like Excadrill are successful. Yes. These are all Pokemon with really high HP stats. Rhyperior is another one. Because that HP stat will get doubled. So gotta keep that in mind when you're planning on having a D-Max Pokemon. And along with that, its special attack isn't the greatest, but the fact that it doesn't, for most attacks that it's dishing aren't not very effective.
Yeah,
you're still doing damage on top of that, and especially if you get one Nasty Plot off. I know your set doesn't have Nasty Plot, but I know some of them carry Nasty Plot.
Yes.
Or if you have a Life Orb on, you're still doing damage.
If I were to run this Noctowl in singles, I would not have Hypnosis or Dream Eater. I would probably put Nasty Plot and then two coverage moves. So probably like Extrasensory and Moonblast. Just off the top of my head. No, Psychic and Moonblast, obviously.
Normal Flying is also pretty good typing, if we're going to be honest.
Get rid of the Ghost.
Weak to 3 things.
Yeah.
Ghost and Ground. Like, you're immune to 2 things. Not bad. Okay. I still hate it though.
Good reason. for good reason. Next up is Galvantula. Galvantula, I find, has been constantly underappreciated ever since it came out in, oh no, I dug myself into this hole. Gen 5. Gen 5. There we are. Has base 108 speed, which is way faster than most of the current meta. It's also got like very strong special attack. It's bug type, and there are some Pokemon out there that are going crazy without much bug coverage. So you've got your things like Indeedee, you've got your things like Hatterene. Galvantula takes those on pretty handily. In singles, you've got the ability to set up a sticky web really fast, which is really, really also very good. And Compound-Eyes Thunder. Compound-Eyes Thunder is not bad. You can finally put a Thunder on and not worry about getting those misses as often.
That's a very good point. I mean, especially in a meta that lacks an electric type that isn't Rotom.
Yeah,
Galvantula is like a good like electric coverage to have. Like electric Pokemon, you really only see like Dracozolt and Rotom. Maybe a Toxtricity.
Maybe.
But in general, I mean, yeah, Galvantula does fit that niche, especially in a game where bug types are literally irrelevant.
Yeah. I mean, people tried to make Butterfree work for a hot second, and now where'd it go?
It's gone.
It's gone.
Something that I do want to point out with Galvantula, though, and we know this now because of our weather episode. Well, at least I know this now because of our weather episode. In certain weathers, your thunder accuracy is going to get completely screwed, though. Yeah.
Yes.
So even though you have Compound-Eyes, it's going to go back down to like miss heavy.
Right.
Keep that in
goes
mind.
Down to somewhere around 70-80%.
I think
it's in weather.
It's in Sand and Sun.
Yeah.
Is the two.
Yeah,
I should rewatch that episode.
Well, I mean, with that said, is there really there is no water move on Galvantula to Dynamax that and set back up like with a Max Geyser or something like that? No,
I don't think so.
No, there is not a single one. You get Rain Dance, but I mean, why would you toss a Rain Dance on it?
Rain Dance Galvantula. Welcome to 2020, boys and girls.
Yeah, really. Oh man. Anyway, in most cases, I would think Galvantula is good against rain teams or against not rain teams. It's not fantastic. But my next one, drifblim.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Fastest Tailwind user in the current meta. Things it's outsped by, I am not particularly impressed with. So like you've got your Excelgor, I think is faster than that. You've got certain Dragapult, certain Excadrills
probably
are faster than it.
Swift Swim, Barraskewda.
Most of the Swift Swimmers, yeah. Anything with like Swift Swim or Sand Rush or Slush Rush, some.
But for the big thing to point out about Drifblim is that it's also the fastest Strength Sap in the game.
Right.
Strength Sap is a broken move.
It's true. It's true.
It's disgusting.
It really makes it a very good utility Pokemon to be able to do almost anything that you want before the other team. So getting a Tailwind up before anything with priority, getting a Rain Dance up before someone in the sun can set up a Solar Beam on you. Those always feel good. Getting a Sunny Day, like if you change your mind and want to put Sunny Day on Drifblim, you can totally do that if you run a Sun team that can benefit from that. Especially with like Chlorophyll Venusaur, you can make that work as well. It's versatile. You can put it on a lot of teams, and not a lot of people put it on any team, which is why I think it's underrated.
I'm actually curious to try a Flare Boost set. That sees like literally no play.
Right.
So I kind of want to try it. It's like Guts, but for a special attacker.
Right.
Would not be bad. I think this thing has pretty decent special attack. If I remember correctly, it was like base 80 or something. So that would essentially get boosted by Guts. Because that's what it is. It's essentially just the Guts boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, base 90 attack. Special attack.
Wow. Okay.
And dude, like back to talking about very good Dynamax Pokemon, this thing has 150 base HP.
There you go. So I got
ideas.
It's likely living a hit. In my experience using Drifblim, it has lived at least a hit, if not two, if not three. It's really good.
I've never actually Dynamaxed a Drifblim too. Ooh,
and then
I'm getting ideas. That's not good.
And then the last one for me is Cloyster. This little boy right here. I wouldn't use him in VGC in a heartbeat. I would not. But for singles, absolutely. I think that Cloyster is a very underrated Pokemon that makes a lot of sense on a lot of teams. The basic idea for Cloyster is to hit him with a white herb, use that Shell Smash, and then your skill link makes it so all of your attacks always hit their maximum amount of multi-hits. So your moves like Rock Blast or your moves like Icicle Spear, like they're always hitting 5 times. And once you have that +2 attack from Shell Smash along with the +2 speed, it's insane and it breaks most Pokemon.
Something else to note about Cloyster is the highest defense in the game, aside from Steelix, I think. So it's like up there.
Okay.
But anyway, if you're a real Pokemon player like me, you skip out on all that white herb Shell Smash stuff. Just give it a King's Rock.
Right.
And go for flinches. That's all you need.
People have been doing that. People also do that. It's gross and I hate it.
You hate it because it works.
I hate it because it works. Yeah, exactly. I see people in the chat saying Cinccino for VGC. Do you say Cinccino or Cinccino?
Cinccino. So I think it's supposed to be what are those animals?
Chinchilla?
Chinchillas. Yeah, so it's Chinchilla.
Okay.
So it would be Cinccino.
I used to think it was Cinccino, and then I heard a bunch of people at a card shop call it Cinccino, and I was like, But I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Who knows?
I don't know. I was saying Hatern for half of the generation.
You have been saying Hatern
really
since the beginning of the generation.
I've gotten better at it. I've been saying Hatterene. Just because they were calling me out on it. They were like, what are you even trying to say, dude?
Hatern. Oh, man.
That's how it's spelt.
No one really cares. Yeah, that's fair. All right. So I think with that, let's take a short break. And then when we come back, let's get into Kevin's 5. We already know what one of them is, but let's learn
Kevin's
about
4.
the other 4. All right. See you in a sec. All right, Kevin,
Hello.
You have welcome back, everybody, from our tiny break. You have told us all about Alolan Persian. I think anybody who's been kind of following what you've been playing with the past couple of weeks pretty much already knows your love for Alolan Persian and the fact that you barely see it anywhere else. So
Hey.
Let's talk about your other 4.
Okay. Other 4 that we also barely see anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
We got Roserade is actually one that has piqued my interest a little bit because everyone's using Venusaur. Everyone loves Venusaur because, Venusaur is the fastest sleep powder, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But what about situations where Sun isn't up? And guess what? Venusaur is no longer the fastest sleep powder. You got Roserade over here. Roserade is a whole 10 base speed faster than Venusaur. And you can definitely play around with the weather in a sense with Roserade. Because if you're running a team, like say for instance, you're running a sand team, a team that doesn't use Sun at all, you have no reason to have a Venusaur over a Roserade. A lot of people don't realize that because Roserade is faster and stronger than Venusaur. Granted, it's not tankier, but that's what the sash is for.
Interesting.
Venusaur pretty much carried sash. Anyway, I'm sorry, Venusaur collector. I'm just saying. We got Roserade that's faster and stronger than Venusaur.
It's fine.
So
Roserade
it essentially does the same thing that Venusaur does.
Right. I mean, I've always kind of seen Roserade as just Venusaur without the things that make Venusaur like super good. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure there are some uses for it. What are like some of the major differences between the two? Do they have?
I think it's mostly special attack. It's
like
I mean, to put you on the spot, like a whole 25 base special attack.
Oh, it's actually got a ton of special attack.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Yeah.
It hits a lot harder.
Interesting.
I think with Life Orb can like OHKO a Rhyperior most of the time, unless Rhyperior has a funky special defense spread.
It also got a defense buff in Gen 6.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it got a 10-point defense buff.
Its defense is still pretty bad.
Yeah.
But,
But hey, it's there. Cool. Yeah, all right. So that's Roserade. Continue, please.
Next, we have Goodra, which I actually have a lot of experience using on the channel. Yes. It was on my undefeated team, which I think still ended undefeated. I'm not sure. But it relied on Solvest Goodra Dynamaxing, and that being my Dynamax Pokemon. Goodra has like base 160 special defense. It's ridiculous. You give it like that Assault Vest, this Pokemon doesn't go down. And on top of that, Goodra has like such great coverage moves. It gets, obviously a Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, Muddy Water, Thunderbolt. Mike, why are you laughing? I see Mike laughing.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. It's just somebody in the chat. Stark in the chat, obviously. New Patreon tier. Mike and Kevin will personally tell you why your favorite Pokemon sucks. Oh my god, that was so funny.
That'll be the $1 tier.
Please tell me more about Goodra.
Okay, Goodra also can't sleep to sleep powder because Sap Sipper, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So a nice lead would actually be going Whimsicott with Fake Tears and Goodra, because Goodra's not the hardest hitter, but if you're able to get the Fake Tears off, you're actually going to be OHKOing probably most of the time with Goodra.
Right.
So that lead is actually just like, oh, sorry, you can't sleep powder me. JK. Not bad.
Okay.
So that's Goodra.
That's Goodra. Let's continue.
Bisharp. Now, I know...
Ooh.
Bisharp's another one I've tried. I actually had it on the exact same team as Goodra, but for some reason this generation it's not seeing too much traction.
Right.
It's such a good typing. It deals with Indeedis. It deals with not Clefables. I guess Clefairies, Togekisses, Whimsicotts, any fairy type really, Sylveons, because it could just easily OHKO them with Iron Head. Another option you have here is now that you don't have knockoff, Throat Chop is just as good. Like
it's
especially
not bad.
you could Throat Chop a Sylveon's Hyper Voice away and just completely nullify it. Defiance, an incredibly stupid good ability, especially now with Incineroar, now with Hitmontop actually seeing a little bit more play. People are bringing in Milotic specifically for this reason. Makes sense. So yeah, Bisharp's pretty good, and also against like a physical Dragapult, Dragapult actually can't touch it because physical Dragapults don't carry. Physical Dragapult is the flavor right now, right? And they don't carry fire moves because that's flamethrower, and you wouldn't carry that on a physical set. So Bisharp can actually just stand in Dragapult's face and just be like, "I'm gonna sucker punch you, and you can't do anything." So that's why I like Bisharp.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I used to use a lot of Bisharp in Gen 6 back when Gen 6, Gen 7, well, maybe both. When knockoff was still a thing. It just made sense. It was a very, very good Pokemon. Sucker Punch was really good on it too. I used to use it in singles with Swords Dance. It was a good Pokemon.
And I also do believe if you have a Life Orb on this thing and you D-Max, you're able to OHKO the common Dusclops set. Wink, wink.
Ooh.
Big plus. Yep.
With Max Darkness, I assume.
Yeah, you have to D-Max for this. I remember because when I faced Gabby at the PAX tournament, like I was running a Focus Sash one at the time, and I left her at like 5 HP. So I was just like, okay, if I had Life Orb,
I see.
Yeah, it would have been a little easier.
You were this close.
So close.
So close.
Items make a difference.
Items do make a difference. What did it have at the time? It had a Focus Sash. Oh,
yeah.
All right, and then your final one.
Chandelure. I don't know where this thing went. It was everywhere.
Right? Like for a
it's
hot
gone
second.
now.
For a hot second, it was there.
When Trick Room with Indeedee and Hatterene was going around, and people were like, oh, this is unbeatable. People just kind of whipped out this lantern thing, and they were like, okay, Imprison Trick Room, no Trick Room.
Yeah.
So I understand it went away once Liepard got introduced, and then, Liepard and Indeedee became the new flavor with Prankster Trick Room, but not Liepard and Indeedee, Liepard and Hatterene.
Right.
But now it's like, you don't even see those two anymore. You just see Dusclops, right? So I don't know why Imprison Trick Room isn't just getting used again. If all you see is Dusclops, granted, you can't one-shot a Dusclops.
I'm using it on an Orbeetle.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so good right now because Dusclops is like the only thing. Because right now the common teams are like fast room teams. It's like they're half Trick Room, half Dusclops. Like they'll have that option, but just I guess Imprison Trick Room people forgot about it.
Right.
So I think good typing, good Pokemon.
I mean, it's always been good, and it's good in singles as well. Like you've got the Shadow Ball, you've got the Calm Mind that you can use on that. It makes for great switch-ins against fire, even in VGC against Heat Wave. If you're seeing that coming, you can always swap in a Chandelure and soak that up. Real good.
I like.
So those are our 10. My 5 were let me just quick recap: Hitmontop, Noctowl, Galvantula, Drifblim, Cloyster, and then yours, Kevin: Alolan Persian, Roserade, Goodra, Bisharp, and then this Chandelure. Any honorable mentions on your side?
Obstagoon. I really like the Goon.
The Goon's
Goon
good.
Is good. Yeah,
the
people
Goon
still don't
good.
like to use it.
I noticed a couple people in the chat saying Lapras. Lapras, I think, was definitely underused and underappreciated before, but definitely with G-Max Resonance now, it's so good.
I think everything that we mentioned on this list has like a below 5% usage
something
on
like
Pikalytics.
That. Something like
we
that.
try to keep it to like low usage Pokemon.
Yeah, I know Cloyster has like somewhere around a 9% or something for OU, but right now OU have I told you about? I don't think I've told you about this. OU is being torn up by Clefable. And I love to see it. And you don't
see it at all in VGC.
Yeah. Clefable and Corviknight are destroying OU right now.
That's bad.
Soft Boiled and Wish on one kit is just like, what do you do?
And if they send that'd be so weird if they send Clefable to Ubers. That's a weird generation.
Clefable, right?
Wasn't Clefable like mid tier? It was never, or was it always OU?
It was always OU, but it was never. Like it was always like countered pretty well. My favorite set to use on that was always Cosmic Power and Moonblast.
Where are the Excadrills in singles? No Excadrills?
It's there. It's like top 10.
Okay.
But it's close to the end there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I would just run Swords Dance Excadrill and just Iron Head everything.
People do. Just
but people
again,
are probably smarter.
Without Protect, they just put Rapid Spin.
Also true.
So those are our top 10. If anybody has any love for any underappreciated Pokemon in this generation, feel free to put them in the chat while we talk about our Pokésports Pokemon Spotlight of the Day, which is, of course, the mighty. I had the reins this time. It was Noctowl.
I promise I didn't suggest this.
Most Noctowls will run Life Orb with the ability Tinted Lens with 252 special attack, 4 special defense, and 252 speed with a modest nature. They'll usually run Hypnosis and Dream Eater, Air Slash, and Heat Wave with potential replacement moves of Hurricane, Protect, Moonblast, or Psychic. All very good moves, all very strong for this underappreciated and beautiful bird. The best out of the 2 owls that we were gifted to Pokemon. What is
best
this?
Out of the 2? This is a temperature needle that I'm gonna put in places I don't want. Keep talking about this piece of trash.
I don't understand.
I'm going to.
Oh no! You're gonna poke yourself.
Yes.
I don't like it.
Very hard.
I don't like it. That's not wholesome. I like wholesome.
If you like wholesome, you don't put this thing on the screen in front of me, Mike. This isn't very wholesome.
I put a Delibird once.
I'm in charge of the slides next week. Everything's just gonna have Excadrill.
Listen.
Everywhere. Popping out of a corner in the background, peeking over your shoulder. He'll be everywhere.
It's true. It's Venusaur Collector in the chat. Noctowl's special ability is Intimidate just for you.
Oh, dude. It's like, it sends me to -6. Like, it doesn't send me to -1.
Kevin's been at -6 ever since he faced this Noctowl. I wonder if people are getting tired of that. Who knows?
No, probably not.
So this Pokemon, along with the other ones that we've mentioned this month, will be available after next week, actually. Well, next week's already the last week of the month.
We're sorry we're giving this to you.
Kevin is. I want to spread the love. Yeah, I can just hit me up on Twitter. I'll send you one for free. I don't care. I've bred a bunch of them. It might not be shiny. It won't be shiny. That's mine. But anyway. That will be given away at the end of the month for our 5th Pokésports giveaway.
5th?
5th.
Already?
Yeah, we're already on 5. I think we just did.
Jeez,
we just finished 4.
A year goes by real quick when it's canceled, huh?
Yeah, that goes by super quick. All right. With that, before we end things off, I do have one question here in the chat. Let me just scroll up for that. There it is. Question: do you guys inverse Kevin's camera so he's facing you? Because there are times where his closet is on the other side. No, Kevin actually just repositions his closet every couple weeks just to kind of like change things up in his room. Right, Kevin?
Look at that next level question. This man recognizes this. I don't even know what side my closet's on.
Kevin, let's break the immersion and tell us what side of you is your closet on?
Well, it depends. If I'm the audience?
No, to you. I'm asking you, to Kevin, the person.
It's on my right, so the audience is left.
It is the audience's left. So I have flipped it so that we're facing each other, because it did look weird when we were like both looking out into the distance. Mm-hmm. So at least here, I'm kind of looking at you from one side of the layout to the other. I never know whether I'm supposed to like look toward that direction or look into the camera. Because like, am I talking to the listeners or am I talking to the Kevin?
We're talking in their ears.
I mean, how are we not? Kevin's like, I have a closet?
That's why I like, dude, I can't wait till I move out so I can put a green screen. Because like I feel like if I put a green screen here, from here to the closet, you'll still see the closet.
I cannot wait for you to get a green screen because I get to control
here.
Oh my god, this makes it so much worse. Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, you fixed
I'd have
it.
to like get the camera out of frame.
Did you have to shake your hand because your hand was too close to the light and it was hot?
No.
Oh.
My light's not that hot.
Okay.
I literally use a paper as a light filter mic, so I really hope the paper is not getting too hot before I start a fire on the podcast.
Right? I can't wait for you to get a green screen because I get to control what's behind you.
What green screen? Are you telling me we're not actually in these rooms right now?
Imagine. Oh my god, that would be the the ultimate troll at the end of the podcast. Is I just like stand up, I walk behind my chair, and I pull down my green screen. It was just a picture of the back of my room the whole time.
You know, it'd be extra great. Is that if you have a green screen and a blue screen,
right?
So you pull down the one green screen and the blue screen is just you outside. So people are really tripped up. They're just like, wait a minute. You just filmed this outside.
I pull down the green screen and it's actually the background that I've had for the past 6 weeks. Like it's actually me in a like super lit arena. I just sit.
It's another mic.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my god. Missed opportunities. If I actually got to go to Ontario Regionals, you could have pulled down the green screen and have me stand there.
I was no word of lie. I was actually thinking of asking you to take a picture of your current setup so that I could put it behind you and put you behind the green screen with another like separate camera. I'd put like a webcam there and have like it showing on you, and then I'd pull down the green screen. And it's like, oh wait, no, we're actually in the same spot. I don't know how that would have worked. Funny. I would have had to figure that out, but that was my thought.
We're getting into peach topics now, boys.
Honestly. And for those of you who are listening on Wednesday, you'll have already heard this, a couple weeks ago's episode of the Pokésports postgame, because we are putting one episode out on podcast providers to give people a little taste of what they're missing over on Patreon. So before we go, Kevin, where can people find you?
Instagram, Twitter, X-Rays, Ovation.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, if you want to. At Still Just Mike. You can find us on... Where can people find us? Jeez, I've already forgot. Oh, okay. So here.
Pokésports everywhere.
You can find us Pokésports everywhere. Google it. You'll find it. I think maybe SEO. You can find us on YouTube at Pokésports. You can find us on Twitter at Pokésports Pod. You can find us on Instagram or Patreon at Pokésports Podcast. You can find us on Gmail. Send us an email about your favorite Pokemon experiences or moments from listening to the podcast at Pokésportspodcast@gmail.com. Or you can not, and we'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Stay safe, everybody. Later.
Please.
Please. Stay at home. Gosh.